Welcome students. In the previous class we have discussed about welcome students. In the previous class we have discussed about introduction to advertising and types of advertising. Definitions, types. Now we will go to discuss about the models of advertising. We have important models in the subject advertising, like David Ogilvy, and another one is Rogers Sweety's. His proposal is unique selling proposition, and Dagmar, DAGMER, and another one is hierarchy of effects and needs model, and another one is AIDA model. We will discuss in detail about the various models and advantages, limitations of all those models. Coming to the models, why models is required? So that is a part for the sales promotion, for the salesman or sales executive. They need to maintain some rapport with the customer. So who are in the advertising field, they need to know some models. David and Rogers, these two were the legends in the advertising philosophical philosophy. They, in the years of 1950s and 60s, according to the industry, means various experts, they say that Reeves is his intention is hard sell approach, and Ogilvy's intention is soft sell approach. David Ogilvy, he believes that brand personality, whereas Reeves, Rogers Reeves, he believes that unique selling proposition. Okay, we will discuss one by one in detail. Now coming to the David Ogilvy on advertising. What is his contribution to the advertising industry? Ogilvy was born in the year 1911, was called by the most sought after wizard in the business. Ogilvy was one of the three key individuals in the creative revolution. You know, advertising is a creative activity. It is a creativity activity, like other arts and other copy related items. From the Ogilvy's view. Ogilvy came from United Kingdom to start his agency. His agency name is Ogilvy and Mather, O&M. We see some international brand advertisements in the magazines, some reputed economic business related magazine, sports magazine. There is a end of the advertisement. We see one small in the small letters O and M. That is an advertising agency. Okay. He started his career in the year 1948, and it was since grown worldwide. Some of he contributed in the form of books also. He wrote 3 books on advertising. That is Confessions of an Advertising Man in the year 1963. Another one is Blood, Brains and the autography of David Ogilvy in the year 1978, and Ogilvy on advertising in the year 1983. Ogilvy retired from the industry, means that is the advertising industry, in the year 1971. Now, his thought about selling means we know his intention, his priority is soft selling. How to produce advertisements that sell. Ogilvy looked into how to produce advertising that sells. He states that the wrong advertising can actually reduce the sales of product. All advertising does not increase sales to some degree. Ogilvy suggested a few steps for producing successful advertising. What is his thoughts, his philosophies? First, he says that do your homework while preparing an advertisement or doing advertising. When he wrote the Rolls-Royce ad, the most famous of automobile ads, he spent 3 weeks doing his homework. Number 2 is watch out on competitors. Find out what kind of advertising the competitors have been doing for similar products and with what success. Third one is research among consumers. Find out how they think about your kind of product and what promise would be most likely to make them buy your brand. His intention is brand personality. Another one is Rogers. His concept is unique selling proposition. Okay, these 2 are main points you have to remember. Number 4 is decide how to position product. Decide how to position product. It defines positioning as what the product does and who it is for. He positioned, for example, Dove soap here. Dove soap is a toilet bar for women with dry skin and still works. So there is a, Dove is a one quarter of moisturizing of milk. Some slogan is there. So that is brand. Dove is a brand. So he preferred that brand. Another one is decide the brand image. Image means personality, the name, packaging, price, style. So even in the packaging, if that one is in the box or in the wrapper, everything is counts in the David's philosophy. It's advertising and most importantly the nature of advertise product itself. Every advertisement should be sort of a contribution to the brand image. The advertisement should project the same image year after year, which is difficult to achieve. Now we know some product titles means brands with the name of brand. Many consumers they interested to buy those products with the name only. Rolls Royce. So some the brand gives the prestigious to some customers. Another one is event big ideas. Big ideas come from the unconscious, which has to be well informed. Some already we have discussed about the David Ogilvy's concept is soft selling. Ogilvy's philosophy was characterized as a soft selling, wherein he stressed the visualization and individuality of the product. If selling a product, even though we have to maintain each the brand. See, we have a brand, for example, Tata is the brand. There is a number of kind of products they produces, services they offer, number of services from the uh, automobile to various services in the insurances and gold, jewelry, whatever it is. There is a number of products from the Tata brand. So brand, many consumers they feel the brand. Today, marketers and advertisers would likely recognize and identify the OBV work as brand advertising, where a premium was placed on building a story behind a brand, or as OBV called it, is a story appeal. When laying out an advertisement, coming to the print advertisements, what is opinion on the print advertisements? So OTV describes as it is a keep it simple and stupid. This kind of method he suggested for print advertisements. A person reads an advertisement by first looking at the illustration, then the headline, and then the copy. So put them in this order on advertisement. So first will be concentrated on the illustration while preparing print advertisement and headline. Then the copy means the body means various information which were included in that advertisement. Ogilvy also gives many tips on how to make illustrations work with some of the most helpful being have a good subject for illustration. If possible, story appeal can be used. If not, package can be used as the subject of the illustration. Use before and after photograph to show the end result of using the product. Before and after. Keep the illustrations simple and focus on one person instead of many persons. Use four color advertisements even though they cost more instead of a black and white color, black and white advertisement. He asked the advertisement preparers, means designers or creators, to create an advertisement for print media should be at least four colors. Unless a headline sells product, 90% of the money is wasted, according to OBE. The headline that were best are the ones that promise the reader a benefit or contain news such as the announcement. Means, we see in the advertisements there is a price also. That is some information to the consumer, whether the price is affordable to that person, means the consumer, he will buy it. If the advertisement is aimed to a small group of people, so they think about the price. So that will put something in the headline in a single way, such as, for example, a woman of a 35 writes short sentences and avoid difficult words, write the copy in the form of a story, do not use brag and boast, means that they need some best future of that product. Make the first paragraph grab the attention of the reader and use testimonials with the more pursue more research than buffering. So this is his idea on preparing the print advertisements, because earlier these at the time of 1950s and 60s, 70s, there is no much advertisement in the electronic media. So he is concentrated on print advertisements only. Now coming to another important aspect is unique selling proposition. This concept is developed by Roses, already we have discussed. So why brand, what is the difference between the brand personality is a OBE. Unique selling proposition is a concept of Roses. Here we need to know about the brand name, brand personality. What is all these words? A brand is a word, mark, or a symbol, device, or a combination of thereof used to identify some product or service. The definition clearly focuses on the function of a brand, that is to identify irrespective of the specific means employed for the identification. Now coming to discuss about the brand personality. Brand personality takes image characteristics of a brand and renders them in human terms as seen by the consumer. Now coming to discuss about the brand image. Brand image is broader than brand personality, because by the time we enter the personality realm, we are dealing with the feelings and emotions that the consumer takes away from communications. Here, we need to know about the psychological emotions and feelings. If consumer feels that brand is a good, whether any product coming from that brand, they use that product only in the various sectors. So if he feels that some particular brand, Tata or Wipro or Reliance, whatever it is, he use his TV from the Tata product. He buy the jewelry from the Tata showrooms. He used to buy electronic items from the Tata stores, like the Tata has a Chrome store. So he is thinking about the brand only, brand image. Now coming to discuss about the unique selling proposition. Why this concept? The concept of USP was developed at Ted Bates and Company in the early 1940s. It became the catchword of the 60s and 70s. With a USP, it is easy to create a distinct brand position in the mind. The American Management Association defines the American Management Association defines brand name as a brand name is a part of a brand consisting of a word letter group of a words or letters comprising a name which is intended to identify the goods and services of a seller or a group of sellers and to differentiate them from those of competitors. Branding as an aspect of the product marketing can be analyzed from two different standpoints. Number one is that of buyers and another one is of sellers. It is also possible to have an societal viewpoint, right? Coming to USP concept, each ad must make a proposition to the consumer. Each advertisement must say to every reader what specific benefit that product offers if bought. For example, here those who as a unique proposition to offer it contains 1/4 moisturizing cream. That is a unique selling proposition, a title. Therefore, the benefit offered. It won't dry your skin. Roses, however, does not define what is the benefit it is. So, even though if we see the brand is Dove, if we see USP is 1/4, 1/4 moisturizing cream is included in this soap. So many of things that they feel it, they need to buy that soap with that USP. The preposition and preposition means ultimately that is a promise, that is us giving some assurance made by the advertisement must be one that the competition has not so far made. So other soaps don't give that kind of same title in the field of products of soaps. There are very few genuine differences among the brands. Technologically, may be similar. When we make a promise, the competitors also follow you. It's the same kind of a suite. For example, in the toothpaste brands, we know there is a number of USPs for one product, one kind of a USP. Here we need to remember. See, for example, one product, one brand, they use many products in the category of toothpaste, but they use a USP title for each product. The USPs should endure to give a benefit position claim to so far by competitors. The position is strengthened in the consumer mind so that the brand promise that the company are identified with each other. Competitors then find it difficult to attempt to wrest the benefit away from that brand. To illustrate, for example, clove oil's presence in a USP for a promise toothpaste. Promise was the first to be synonymous with the clove oil. They are using clove oil. An important point to remember it is that the USP then should stimulate rational thinking in the consumer. This is a creative strategy. That is a need not to remain in the domain of feelings and emotions only, but should operate rationally to work. The consumer tends to remember just one thing that from the ad, one strong claim or a concept. The claim or a preposition should therefore be so strong that it can move the mass of millions. That is to pull new consumers to your product. We know another example is a Maggie that USP is a 2-minute noodles. It prepares the Maggie will prepare within the 2 minutes. That is, we know the USP is very popular. Children's eating habits here is a revolutionizing, which were pulled over to this new style of eating, right? Another important model is BAGMAR. What it is mean? This model is developed by Russell H. Cole in the year 1961. In his book, he defined the abbreviation of this BAGMAR. What is based on his book? Defining advertising goals for measuring advertising results. In acronym, we call it as a BAGMAR. This approach advertising includes precise methods for selecting and quantifying goals to measure performances. BAGMAR also focused attention upon measurement, encouraging people to create objectives so specific and operational that they can be measured. And also here he has given some objectives for his model. Major contribution of a BAGMAR was Cole's specification of what constitutes a good objectives. There is a 5 major objectives for this model. Number one is concentrate and measurable. Concentrate and measurable. What is concentrate and measurable? The communication task or objective should be a precise statement. Precise statement of what appeal or message that advertiser want to communicate to the target audience. Here further, more the specification should include a description of the measurement procedure. Number 2 is target audience. Target audience means earlier we have understood about the various target audience for the various medias like a print media, electronic media, including electronic media, there is a 2 types, radio and television. Who are the target audience for the radio? Who are the target audience for the television? All this we know. Coming to here in this model, who are the target audience? As per the BAGMAR is the target audience be well defined. For example, if the goal was to increase awareness, it is essential to know the target audience particularly. The benchmark measure cannot be developed without a specification of the target segment. Here we heard about the one new word, the benchmark. Benchmark and degree of change sought is another kind of a objective. This is important for setting objectives, benchmark measures to determine where the target audience stands at the beginning of the campaign with respect to various communication response variables such as awareness, knowledge, attitude, image, etc. The objectives should also specify how much change or movement is being sought, such as an increase in awareness levels, creation of a favorable attitude, number of consumers intending to purchase the brand, all these included in the degree of change of sort. Benchmark is also a prerequisite to the ultimate measurement of results and essential part of any planning program and also DAG, NAR in a particular. Another objective is specific time period. In this characteristics of a good objective is the specification of the time period during which the objective is to be accomplished. For example, 6 months, 3 months, 1 year, etc. The time period should be appropriate for the communication objective as a simple task such as increasing awareness levels can be accomplished much faster than a complex goals such as repositioning a brand. All parties involved with understand that the result will be available for evaluating the campaign. The last one is in this objectives a written goal. So each advertisement means the creators, the copywriter. This goal should be committed to paper. Don't say in a oral, we need to put it on the paper. What point we have? When the goals are clearly written, basic shortcomings and misunderstandings become exposed and it becomes easy to determine whether the goal contains the crucial aspects of a Dagmar approach. And advertising objectives involves a communication task. According to Dagmar, the sale should carry the potential customer through 4 stages leading to the purchase of the product. Creating awareness, imparting information, developing a favorable attitude, and induce action. In general, we call it as the one by one step. It is unaware to aware. Next, aware to build the image. Otherwise, a comprehension between the various other products and this product. Next, attitude. This is all the psychological aspects of a consumer. Next one is action. In the action means they buy that product. So the aim of the advertisement is to increase the sales. It will be fulfilled by these kind of steps. Unaware to aware, aware to image, image to attitude, attitude to action. Awareness means already we read unawareness to awareness. The customer has to be made aware of the product and that company. This is not easy as it seems. One may remember that the ad in most cases but does not recall the name of the brand. That is what awareness should finally result in, the awareness of the brand. to make it stand above the other product of a similar kind. Another one is comprehensive, that is an image. The second step of the communication process is a brand comprehension. What is the product all about? What are the features of what use is the product to the consumer? How is it a better product than other brands of a similar nature? All these information, comparison, need to be given in the advertisement. Right? Another one is the attitude. In this step, that intervenes between the comparison and final action. Being convinced the above stages, which is the objective of any advertising campaign. The last step is action. All this leading to the final purchase decision. The purchase of the product is the culmination of all the above stages, which is the objective of any advertising campaign. This Dartmoor approach changed the way advertising objectives were created and the results measured. It introduced the concept of communication objectives and result behavioral sciences and attitude models were drawn. There are some critics who believe that the only effective measure of advertising is sales. However, creating a demand for the product through awareness, comprehensive, and creating a positive attitude can also be attributed to successful advertising. Now we will go, students, dear students, if you have any doubts, please raise your hand or otherwise interact with me to clarifications about your doubts. Otherwise, you may give your chart, type in the chart room. I will read out and give you the clarifications. Another important model is hierarchy of effects and needs model. That's what constitutes advertising effectiveness in often a topic of heated debate. Bottom liners contain that advertising is effective only when it sells. Communication advocates, however, suggest that there is a series of stages between the point of awareness of a product and also or a brand and the ultimate purchase or sales of a particular brand. This model is developed by the Palda in the year 1966 in responding to the advertising effectiveness work of Lavitch and Steiner in the year 1961. It is a hierarchy because we lost people as they move through the sequence. It is a hierarchy of effects because at each stage, marketers must achieve different communication goals. There is a 7 steps that consumers followed en route to the purchasing threshold where number 1 is unawareness of a product or service existence. Number 2 is awareness of a product or service existence. Number 3 is knowledge of what the product has to offer. Number 4 is a favorable attitude toward the product, consumers like it. Number 5 is a favorable attitude to the point of preferring one brand over others. Number 6 is desire to buy as well as conviction that the purchase would be wise. Number 7, the actual purchase. So ultimately, an awareness to the action is purchasing. So there is a 7 steps: an awareness, knowledge, favorable attitude to the point of preferring one brand. Next step is the desire, and the last one is purchase. So these 7 steps were included in this hierarchy and also needs, right? There is a steps already we have discussed awareness. What is awareness? Earlier in other model also we have discussed about the awareness. If most of the target audience is unaware of that object, means that product or service, the communicator's task is to build awareness. Perhaps just name recognition with simple messages repeating the product name. Consumer must become aware of the brand. This is not as straightforward as it seems. Capturing someone's attention does not mean they will notice the brand name. For example, magazines are full of ads that will capture attention, but consumer will have trouble easily seeing the brand name, right? Another step in detail about that is knowledge. The target audience might have a product awareness, but not much know. Hence, this stage involves creating brand knowledge. This is where comprehension of the brand name and what it stands for became important. What are the brand specific appeals and its benefits, and who are the target market? These are the types of questions that be answered if consumers are to achieve the step of brand knowledge. Another one is linking. If target members know the product, then the perspective. What your farm means farm does, and what you might do for them. The prospects began from an opinion about your company due to their awareness. They seem to see the product in the newspaper and in some important magazines, so they get some opinion. Now we need to discuss about the preferences. The preferences stage is where we begin to see the real value of the hierarchy of effects. The target audience might like the product but not prefer it to others. In this case, the communicator must try to build consumer performance by promoting quality, values, performance, and other important features. The communicator can check the campaign's success by measuring audience preference before and after the campaign. In this hierarchy, there is another step, that is conviction. At this stage of a conviction, the prospect is in a state of already being convinced that you are right choice for whatever problem that they need you to solve. Testing for conviction is now a matter of moving the conversation to purchase. However, in long scales of cycles, maintaining conviction is also important. In this hierarchy, the last step is a purchase. Finally, some members of the target audience might have conviction, but not quite get around to making the purchase. They may make they are waiting for more information. They are planning to act later. The communicator must need these consumers to take the final step. So by offering the product a low price or offering a premium, a consumer purchase without the rigor of having them traverse the hierarchy of effects can lead to post-purchase dissonance. Right, these are the some steps in a hierarchy model. So here, at first, we have discussed about the needs. What are the needs for the consumer? Hierarchy of needs, there is a different types based on the psychological needs and safety needs, love needs. Esteem needs, self-actualization. What are the psychological needs? Here we need to know about the psychological needs. Dear students, what are the psychological needs? First of all, human beings must satisfy their psychological needs like food, clothing, etc. Until they have enough of these, all their activities will be directed towards obtaining them. In the basic needs are the most prominent and they completely dominate the organism when they are not met. Psychological survival is considered to be the most basic motivator of human behavior. Next kind of needs is a safety needs. When psychological needs are met, a new set of needs relating to safety emerges as the primary motivators of behavior. Physical safety, financial security, protection from harm, and obtaining adequate materials to sustain survival are considered to be the safety needs within this framework. So, psychological needs, and we have discussed about the safety needs. Now coming to love needs. If the psychological and safety needs are fairly well satisfied, the love, affection, and belongingness needs emerge to motivate behavior. The love needs have been described in a different ways in terms of social relationships, connection with the other people, and belongs to groups or partnerships. Here is we need to know about the one psychologist like Maslow was careful to differentiate between the love needs and other kind of needs. Next one is esteem needs. When the psychological safety and love needs are completed, now another need, kind of a need, is esteem needs. Generally speaking, people in our society wish to think highly of themselves. They want others to regard them with esteem, and they want this evolution reflect their true value. The estimates include the desire for a high and accurate estimation of the self, as well as the need for others to appraise the individual as worthy. So we know some people, they used to buy a branded clothes. They use the importance for the branded automobiles. They used to use the branded electronics. These are the some brand. So this here in this step we are giving some esteem needs. Next one is self actualization. Most people are struggling with one or more of the needs below this order, and very few attain this highest motivational level of self-discovery and the need to exploit one's own potential. When psychological safety, love, and esteem needs are fairly well satisfied, next one is self-actualization needs. This emerges as a primary motivators of behavior. In proposing this theory, Maslow lamented that not much is known about self-actualization empirically or clinically, because basically satisfied people are rare and may be difficult to identify. Always they think that they need some more, one more. They could not satisfy with what they have. So based on this step, he asking the while preparing a designing advertisement, need to give more information related to the self-actualization. Here is another important model we have in this syllabus. That is AIDA model, AIDA model. In general, we abbreviate that AIDA model is attention, interest, desire, action. First, what is the AIDA model? The AIDA model describes the basic process of by which people become motivated to act and purchase, and is based on external stimuli from sales representatives. AIDA is a sequential model showing steps that marketing communication should lead potential buyers through promotion, seeks to attract attention, create interest, develop desire, and prompt action. AIDA, already we know attention, interest, desire, and action. So one by one we will discuss about each. And this model is developed by Elmo Lewis. He developed this this model is developed by E. Saint Elmo Lewis. Okay. What is attention? To get your consumers' attention, you need to know what they want. What they want are benefits. They want to know how your product will benefit them. Once you know what your biggest benefits are, tell your prospects by printing headlines in a big and a bold font on your brochure or poster printing pieces. use words that people's attention naturally. Like we know we read in a many posters and brochures like discount, free, 1+1, buy one get one. All these words use the attention of the consumers. Do you have a back pain? Might work, but the first more detailed version is better because people will have a specific reference to think about it. This is just asking, do you have a back pain? That is giving some attention actually. So you need to use a particular balm or a spray to recover from that pain. So one kind of a questioning that is also giving some attention to the consumer. Next one is the interest. In this, advertising communication should create and stimulate buyer interest. This is achieved by creating an understanding of the benefits of the product. And this stage, the promotional message, that message focuses on how the product meets these needs, move the potential buyer from a passive awareness to a more active consideration of the product needs. Another step is desire. Deeper desire, we know the communication should create a desire by indicating a favorable attitude to the products. In relation to competing products, so we are giving some desire, arouse a desire for the product above any desire for competing products. Another step is action. What is action? To prompt customer action. The action sought is for the customer to purchase that product, that service. Purchase should be induced by stressing the immediate desirability of the product. Personal selling and sales promotion play a major role at this stage. So in personal selling, a sales executive who visits the consumer or customer and sells that product or service. So that is action. So the consumer is buying one product. So all these models we have discussed, the model can also be appealed. This IDA model can be appealed in to marketing moves as well. In the initial stage, awareness may be created with the help of key features like music, location, and television. Attention is created with the release of the music and by introducing the theme and the sale of audio cassettes and CDs and indicates the same. Desire is created with the boardings of the movie and also with the helps of several contests and free prizes and attractions. The next one is buying. So there is a number of advantages and limitations of IDEA. Once we need to know about more in the IDEA model, the model demonstrated to sales people that timing is important in sales process since the mental state of a buyer changes over time. The biggest limitation of this model is that it takes the view that the sales person rather than the buyer has the most control in the interaction. So dear students, so far we have discussed more different models in the advertising, like AIDA model, hierarchy of needs and effects model, and also Dagmar model, USP, and means unique selling proposition model, and the brand model by the David Ogilvy. So tomorrow, in the next session, in the next class, I will explain about the next unit, that is the fourth unit related to the advertisements in print media. Thank you very much, dear students. We will meet again in the next session.